This is the Hard Mark Podcast, starring Eric Donaldson and Ryan Murphy.
Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Hard Mark Podcast. My name is Eric Donaldson. I'm the host of this fine program. And with me, as always, is the man of 1,000 compliments. You may also know him as the Soul Skater, the maitre d' of mat drama. Perhaps you've seen him out on the shores of Tampa Bay, as he is the Tampa Bay topsider. You may think of him mostly as the talent. He's Ryan Deathmatch Murphy. Ryan, how you doing today?
I'm good. Every time I hear like all those names, I just perk up, you know.
I'm glad. I'm not going to get into it, but I've had a rough day. We talked a little bit off air about it. I'm glad to be talking about some wrestling and to seeing you drink whatever beer it is that you're drinking and just hang out socially for a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. No, I agreed. I was ready for this. A long day. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This is another digital Skype edition of the Hard Mark Podcast. Thanks to everybody for streaming, downloading, doing whatever you need to do, be a Spotify or any other really cool platforms that you use to listen to your favorite podcasts. The chances are we're there. We were supposed to record this last week. We had some time set aside, and I know you had a problem. I guess before we get into your boat problem, I just want to, I'm curious because this is a thought that had crossed my mind, but I figure, you know what, we'll just save it. Is this an actual interesting problem?
No, that's the thing. It's like if you're expecting a story, it's not. So good call on coming through and kind of filtering the content out first. Yeah, but it's fixed.
Okay.
It's fixed. It's
okay.
Yeah, it was a boat problem, but it was a trailer problem with the boat.
Oh,
yeah,
I hate trailer boat problems.
I stuck my trailer. Actually, this part's kind of interesting.
You better be.
I took my boat out to Flowing Lake, and I went out, had a great day, amazing launch. Everyone was watching me launch off. That's a big deal. I don't know if you've like launched a boat or docked a boat, but there was like 30 people on the dock watching me, and I like beautifully launched off, and everyone clapped and cheered. And then
I've never launched a boat before.
I wish I recorded it or something. It's amazing. Okay. Anyway, so what happened was when I put the boat back in to take the trailer back in to take the boat out, I stuck it underneath the dock. So like the wheel was stuck under the dock. I had my car's hooked up to it, and I couldn't get it out. And there was no reason for me to put it that close to the dock, but I did it. And then this guy, just this big like redneck guy with his family camping, like fishing off the dock, like comes and he's like, like, what did you do? Like, and I'm like, well, I stuck my, trailer under the dock. As you can see, I can't move my car out now. I can't get the boat. And this guy like comes up and jacks the entire dock up with my little Subaru jack, enough to like move the trailer outside of it. But I did destroy the taillights and the wheel well of the trailer. I had to fix that before I took Greta's dad out on the boat. And that was the urgent boat issue that I was facing.
Well, I'm sure, there's a lot of cross-pollination with pro wrestling, people who listen to pro wrestling podcasts, boat owners, and lawn care maintenance aficionados. So I feel like we're ticking all the boxes right now. So this is good, but it's all fixed now. You got it resolved.
I did get it resolved. Yeah. That was, I had to go on Friday night because we went fishing on Saturday. So, it was just boat owners and boat launchers and boat people are just like the nicest people ever. I just, I'll make that statement on here. And this guy,
is that a tear in your eye?
Oh no, I'm not kidding. Almost a little bit. Like this guy comes up and just like jacks he's like in the water, like, like it's 6 o'clock. It's not like terribly warm water or anything. He's like in there, just like helping me get this out. He's got the whole dock jacked up on my car jack, like helping me get this thing out. And it was just this huge, like, it probably took like an hour. It's this big feat. Everyone on the dock is just like, watching this whole thing go down. And what a guy. I'd like to buy him a beer or something, but
Let's pretend for a moment that I don't know anything about jacks or jacking. Does it take a considerable amount of physical strength to jack a dock?
It's just no, like it doesn't. Like it was probably this like the weight of a car maybe, but you just don't jack up a dock every day, right? You can jack up a car, but you don't jack up a dock, right?
I certainly don't jack a dock every day.
You don't, you just don't like see that. And to jack up the whole dock enough for me to pull the trailer out from where I got it stuck. And this guy had no, like, he was just there fishing with his family and just like, came up and like did the, because we tried to lift the dock at first and we couldn't do it. And I was like, I have a jack in my car, maybe that will work. And like, he just like, it just a great team effort. I'd love to give this guy a shout out, but I don't know his name. Not that I should publicly put his stuff out, but
Sure. Well, I mean, it's in a complimentary way. I don't think it's a defamation of character. You seem like you're borderline smitten with this gentleman.
I am. Yeah. Great guy. One of my favorite guys.
You know who would probably else help somebody with jacking a dock?
Who?
Tim Duncan.
Yeah. I had a dream
him
about Tim Duncan the other night. To be honest, I can't fully remember like what the dream was about, but like it was absolutely Tim Duncan, like on full display. Something about him, and I can't remember what it was, but it was yeah. I mean, it was a good dream. It wasn't like a shitty Tim Duncan dream. It was a good Tim Duncan dream. So
okay, well, yeah. It wasn't a Tim Duncan nightmare.
No,
was it a Tim Duncan wet dream?
It was not a Tim Duncan wet dream. Yeah, no, it was, and I would disclose that to our audience if it was. Yeah.
What do you think that Tim Duncan was ever offered to do a pictorial in the Body Issue of ESPN?
What? Well, I guess this was my poster was like Sports Illustrated, but like a swimsuit edition, like.
No, I'm talking about the Body Issue. You're not familiar with the Body Issue of ESPN?
Is it like where like these athletes get on and just like display their body, like any athlete?
Well, what do you mean by display their body? I'm going to need you to clarify a little bit more.
No, there is like it's just like people with great bodies, like.
And what do they do with these great bodies, Ryan?
I'm just gonna send you a link to this. If you like, I feel.
I know what it is. You don't need to. I want to know that you know what it is.
Yeah, no, I know what it is.
They're naked, Ryan. Just say naked.
No,
They're nude athletes covering their bathing suit areas, but everything else, like maybe you get some butt cheek, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, like probably.
No, it is. I'm not. I'm not.
Duncan probably got an offer, like.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Oh man, you know what? If the Body Issue existed in like 98, 99,
yeah.
Can you imagine the premium for like a dual spread of Duncan and Robinson?
Oh yeah.
It's like he was just muscle on top of muscle. Duncan was a little bit softer, but he's got that baby face. I think between the two of them could have really moved some issues, as they say in the biz.
Yeah, agreed. Oh no, 100%. That might have been like just the poster child of that whole like magazine was a Tim Duncan, David Robinson, like spread.
Yeah.
Or like Shaq and Kobe or something like that. I'm not sure. Like, I mean, but like I'm just saying Tim Duncan, I mean, you have those two, that's like holy shit, right? Like you
call it an officer and a gentleman, and that's tag.
Yeah.
He's the admiral. Did Tim Duncan have a nickname?
I think Tim Duncan was just enough. I don't recall. he had a nickname, but like I know Tim Duncan, like Tim Duncan, you know, like in the NBA, like how that's such a basketball name anyway. Like you don't even need a nickname.
That's true. He never needed it because his last name was a nickname in and of itself.
The Alamo.
I mean, that wasn't it. You're saying that could have been his nickname if he wanted to go that route?
That's I don't know. Like maybe like I mean it has to be big. It has to be a bold, big nickname for Tim Duncan.
Bold.
So
to go with his big bold body. I actually, as we're talking about this subject, I was not planning on discussing Tim Duncan here today. It just happened. But I remember, as it usually does, eventually the Hard Mark podcast will pivot away from pro wrestling and become an exclusive Tim Duncan / late 90s San Antonio Spurs podcast.
Yeah, as it should. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tony Parker, get some
greatest guards of all shit. Okay.
One other thing that you and I have been in discussions while we're on this big this is the sports episode. This is the big sports edition. Unfortunately, we don't. Let me think. No, the people in the match aren't necessarily notable sports folk, but that's neither here nor there. Big sports episode here today. So yesterday, I know I messaged you about this question. You've had a day now to think it over. I asked you the question of what is, in your opinion, the least rewarding sport? And so I know what my answer is, but I want to get your take on this topic before we delve into it.
So I thought about it today. Thanks for the heads up. So I don't know if this is an acceptable answer, but like it is hands down the least rewarding sport, in my opinion, is cross country.
Okay. All right. Go. What's the rationale behind this? Why is it? I'm not saying no. I just want to be sold.
Oh God. I tried to run cross country like back in high school, and it went horribly. There's a lot of, okay, here's the gist of it. Like I think like in a lot of sports there's like instant gratification, at least. And I don't know like how like running is awful like by itself, but like the fact that you're going up against like 10 different schools and there's no chance you're going to finish anywhere near the top, like there's no reward to it, in my opinion. Like you're not going to get in like, you know, the top 5. You're running around, you know, miles and miles, and you might, like, I think people in general are like, yeah, I'm getting a workout, like I can come in like 30th place and like that's it. So that would be like,
but so let me just interject really quick.
Yeah.
But cross country, that's just running, right?
Well, it's competing. You are competing, but yes, it's just running.
Like it's just running for a long distance as opposed to like a short sprint.
Yeah, correct. Like as opposed to like track and field. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is cross country is not an Olympic sport, right?
I don't know if it does fall in the Olympics,
because it feels like the Olympics are more like specialized sort of events. Cross country seems more general, where it's like, oh, you're just running for a while.
Okay, so
I don't know. That's just.
Are you saying it's not an acceptable way? I had a backup answer to this, but I wasn't sure where you're going with the question. So,
well, I'm looking up cross country. Let's see. So, cross country running is a sport in which teams and individuals run a race on an open air course over natural terrain. Course typically 4 to 12 kilometers. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so it was in the Olympics from 1912 to 1924. Okay, so it was briefly in the Olympics. Got it.
So it's not anymore then.
I mean, it hasn't been for 100 years. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that makes sense, and good on them for getting that out of the Olympics. No one would watch that shit.
I don't even know how long a typical cross-country race would take, but I mean,
I
cross country, but for bicycles. And people love that.
Yeah, I ran it in high school and my senior year, and it was a disaster. Like we ended up getting kicked off the team. Um, but it was there was no way like in basketball you could be bad and like maybe like shoot some baskets and like, hits, get some points, or baseball, like get some hits or like anything you can like a little bit of like of a reward to that sport. If you're not like good at cross country, or if you're not even like really good at cross country, like there's no chance you're getting anything out of it. That was the most like awful experience of my life.
Well, I didn't mean to unearth these horrible memories for you, Ryan. I was hoping this is going to be a fun conversation as opposed to traumatic.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't traumatic. Well, it's just the stupidest.
Traumatic. You describing it right now.
It's just the worst, most unrewarding sport.
What's your backup? What's the other answer you came up with?
So that's the thing. I was trying to think or come up with like I like sports in general. I think they're all pretty rewarding. I think like if I were to pick one that's like more of a major sport that's not as rewarding, I'd probably pick soccer.
Okay.
I think you run around a lot and there's like certain positions that like maybe you're a midfielder, you don't score at all. Like I don't know where the reward comes in there. Whereas other sports you can like kind of get into the action a little bit more. I've never been a fan of soccer. I've never been good at it. Playing, watching, any of it. That would be my sport. I was trying to think of like other sports. I couldn't really come up with one. I think soccer would be like my main, like a major sport that I find the least rewarding.
I think I have one that beats both of those.
Cross country.
Yes, I think I have one that beats cross country, and here's my argument against the cross country one. Now, obviously, as we've established, it is not an Olympic sport and has not been an Olympic sport for a really long time. But like, think of it like this: if somebody was the Michael Jordan of cross country, they would at least have some level of notoriety. Am I wrong in assuming that? Like that this person would be like at least notable for, well, that's a fairly impressive athletic feat.
I mean, yeah, that.
Yeah, like not necessarily. I'm not saying that they would be a household name necessarily, but they would at least have some sort of merit to what they're doing. They would be recognized as like, oh wow, that's a pretty cool feat that you're like the best cross country runner in the world, because it takes a lot of endurance, a lot of stamina, et cetera, et cetera. Like that's a impressive feat that you're able to beat all these people.
Okay.
I was watching a documentary. I don't remember. Maybe Hulu. Amazon Prime, one of the two. I don't, whatever. Neither of those are sponsors. It doesn't actually matter. But I was watching a documentary last night, and it was about synchronized swimming, and that is my pick for the least rewarding sport in all the world of sport.
And that's still an Olympic sport. You might be.
I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, I don't think that the Olympics is necessarily like the be all end all of is this legitimate or not, but I think that it is. Let's find out.
I would rather watch, I think, synchronized swimming and participate in that as opposed to cross country, just so you get my full opinion on it.
I appreciate your full opinion. It is an Olympic sport. It has been part of the Summer Olympics since 1984.
I mean, so you watched a documentary on it.
Yeah.
Were you impressed by like the like acts? I don't really know what they do. I assume they're like doing stuff in synchrony. But I don't really have a good like reference for this.
I didn't either.
Was it impressive?
Yes, I was very impressed, and I came away because, just like you, I don't know anything about synchronized swimming. Like, all I know is, okay, it's a bunch of people, they're moving in tandem. I get it, whatever. But I came away from that documentary thinking like, wow, that is a very impressive sport. The things that these people, primarily women, I don't know if there even is men's synchronized swimming or not, but like these women that they were featured in the documentary, like they were putting themselves through hell, training and going through all these things. So like there was a point in the documentary where they're going through all these various injuries that they've had in synchronized swimming, and like in your head, you're just like, well, what could you hurt yourself doing synchronized swimming in? But a bunch of them had a shitload of concussions because they had been kicked in the head by other girls that were participating in their team. A lot of them had like torn shoulders from like throwing people. It was just a litany of all these different injuries.
Yeah, that's surprising. I would not peg that as like an injury-ridden sport, or even at all.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you think of like it's primarily underwater and like how easy that is on your joints. But they were going through their injuries, and it was pretty substantial. I was surprised, but the main reason, and it's not because I wasn't impressed by the athleticism of what it took to actually participate in this sport, but the thing that kind of just struck me is synchronized swimming being the least rewarding sport is because you're always part of a team. Doesn't matter how good you are, if the rest of your team is awful, you are not going to be any good at this particular thing. So it's like totally unlike your traditional team sport of soccer or baseball or basketball, where like an individual can still excel even if they're part of a less than stellar team. So there's no real reward in that regard. You're never going to become the most famous synchronized swimmer in the entire world because your whole job is to blend in and not stand out from the rest of your teammates. It struck me as a completely thankless and very very not rewarding line of sport to dedicate yourself to.
Yeah, I mean, like that makes like I think some of these like sports they get like at least endorsements. I don't know, like maybe their team gets endorsements or something.
I mean, like the closest equivalent from what I can tell to synchronized swimming is you could either say figure skating or gymnastics. But because those are like individuals or duos doing it, they're getting a lot more notoriety and like they can come out of it with like sponsorships. I have never, ever heard of a sponsorship deal being given to an entire synchronized swimming team.
Yeah. No, I think that's a I mean that's a fair pick. Cross country still the fucking worst sport. I feel better about my pick now that you brought up synchronized swimming. But yeah, I think it's also a fair pick as well. But that said, I would absolutely watch a synchronized swimming like match if it was on like the Olympics. I would totally check it out. Like I would never watch track and field, really cool, but like I would never watch a cross country match. I don't care who can run the fastest, like, 7-mile or 12-mile thing. It's too drawn out. There's no like part of it that's like exciting. It's too long. Whereas synchronized swimming, you're at least like good at something. And it's probably, how long do they do it for? It's like 4 or 5 minutes.
I think something like that. Yeah, like your typical beautiful routine is something like that.
Yeah.
A lot of big smiles.
Just so to note to the audience, soccer was a very far second choice. I get that there's reward to soccer.
I pissed off a lot of soccer people.
For me, like I was trying to think of something and I couldn't, like, and then like I just remembered my cross country experience from it was the dumbest sport. Very little reward at all. You're not going to improve enough to ever get, anywhere in the ranks. I'll hold to enough.
That's not a bad pick, but I do think that there's more upside potentially getting involved in cross country than synchronized swimming.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're real good.
Yeah, I mean, like the best, like the only one. Yeah, I mean, there's like one good cross country person, and that's it, and you're never gonna beat them.
There you go. That's right, and still better odds of making something out of yourself that way than you would be in synchronized swimming, I guess. But let's move on to the pro wrestling match that we're going to talk about here today. What do you say, Ryan?
Yeah, I am ready.
So, just to set the stage a little bit. So, I know that we've talked about this a little bit here and there. I don't think this is a big spoiler just because we've, again, mentioned it already on the podcast. But back in 2001, professional wrestling in the United States experienced its biggest shift ever within the span of just a couple of weeks. You remember 2001, don't you, Ryan?
Great year, yeah.
In March of 2001, AOL Time Warner, which is the parent company of WCW. You loved WCW, your old TNT wrestling.
Yeah.
So AOL Time Warner, who owned WCW, they made the decision they did not want pro wrestling on their network anymore. So the reason, they decided that for a couple reasons. One, it had been losing money, mainly due to bad creative decisions and poor business decisions, and they just kind of wanted to move in a different direction with their programming. Yeah, but historically, it had done very good ratings, but WCW towards the end was beginning to tank. Which, if you need an example of what we mean by that, feel free to listen into our Graveyard match episode featuring the Kiss Demon versus Vampiro.
I have a CD right here.
That's true. He has a DVD of that very match sitting in his apartment as we speak. Feel free to listen back to our critique of that episode. It was fucking silly. So anyway, that was towards the end of WCW's run. That's not what killed it, but it's sort of emblematic of what WCW was towards the end. So as luck would have it, when AOL is looking to sell WCW, they ended up selling all the assets belonging to WCW to Vince McMahon. We know about Vince McMahon now, don't we?
Yeah, I'm great guy.
XFL fame, a lot of successful business decisions, including the XFL.
Nice.
But yeah, so they sold it to the only human being in the United States, or probably even the world, who knew what to do with a professional wrestling company, which was Vince McMahon. He purchased his biggest competition for $2.5 million in what was probably the biggest heist in the history of professional wrestling. That happened on March 26th, 2001. $2.5 million for a pro wrestling company.
What are they worth now?
What WWE?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I mean, I don't know what they're worth right now. They are publicly traded.
Oh, are they?
They are publicly traded, yes. So they're on the stock, but you could buy WWE stock right now. This year, they are poised to have the largest single year of revenue that they have ever had on account of their television contracts. I think it's somewhere in the billions.
Oh, shit.
So again, like less than 20 years ago, he bought his only competition, well, not his only, but his major competition, his main competition, he bought them for $2.5 million. So the reason that he got it for so cheap is because Turner, TNT, TBS, whoever you want to refer to him as, they didn't want wrestling on their network. So now you have a wrestling company that doesn't have any television rights. And so nobody wanted to shop around and go through all that shit. So he basically bought all of the talent, all of the assets that they had, rings, that sort of thing, on the cheap, and their film library, which was probably the most valuable thing for him at that time because he was looking to start up his own network, which eventually they would do with the WWE network.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, he literally got like thousands of hours of content for his wrestling network, which again, nobody else knew what the fuck that they wanted to do with that, but it worked out very well for him. So that happened at the end of March 2001. And just so you know, actually, bear with me for one moment. I'm going to grab our little whiteboard. So I remember, not to make another episode 1 reference, but since we're on the Tim Duncan train, we might as well keep that going. So you, my friend, holy shit, I didn't realize it was quite like this. Episode 1 of this very podcast, you were clamoring over TNT wrestling. Fact or fiction?
I mean, it was in fact, but like I mean, probably most episodes.
Yeah, because that's like what you think back to when you were a youth and there was pro wrestling. Do you happen to know, Ryan, how many TNT? I know that that's not technically accurate, but how many WCW TNT wrestling matches we have watched so far?
3.
You were correct, as a matter of fact. We have watched 3. Did you know, because I actually didn't until I started looking at it right now, did you know that all 3 of those matches are at the absolute bottom of our list right now?
Are they? Well, okay. that kind of makes sense. Well, but hold on. Were you able to just look at that board and tell which ones were on TNT?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, TNT wrestling. Well, I knew of it, and that's what I knew of wrestling. It wasn't great. even when I was 11.
I mean, I will say of the 3, 2 of the 3 absolutely belong to be at the bottom.
Okay.
Flair versus Sting, I don't know why that landed so low on this list, but it is. It's so at the very bottom, it's Steiner's versus Harlem Heat, which was actually broadcast on TNT. Then it's Vampiro versus Kiss Demon at the number 14 spot. That was a pay-per-view match, but again, it was with WCW. And then Flair versus Sting was again another WCW pay-per-view match. So, just to not to split hairs, but technically only one of them actually aired on TNT. But I know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point that out. I thought it was an interesting little tidbit how your childhood, very brief nostalgia that you have for it, has really not paid dividends in the rankings at this point.
I didn't expect it to.
Well, you're a man of science, and that's really what we're here to do is science work. We're crunching the numbers, we're filling the beakers with various science fluids, and we're really tabulating the numbers scientifically.
Yeah.
So that's WCW. Meanwhile, another company that we've watched a couple matches from, the other United States wrestling company, ECW, they officially folded on April 4th. So of that same year of 2001. So within a 2-week span, 3 companies that were fairly good-sized professional wrestling companies in the United States, they were all on pay-per-view. 3 of those companies were whittled down to just 1. So WWE essentially bought both of their competitors within the span of 2 weeks. Are you getting something from the fridge?
I'm here.
Did you hear what I said, Ryan, about ECW?
Yes, 3 of them were whittled down within 2 weeks.
Okay, good. So we're going to talk more in the future about some of the events around that time period, but probably the most important part as far as our episode here today of this scenario is that this created an immediate void in pro wrestling. So if somebody was resourceful enough and somebody played their cards right, they could immediately become the second biggest pro wrestling company in the United States, which in and of itself is not necessarily a bad spot to be in if you could, pull it off. And so just over a year after WCW closed up shop, that's exactly what happened. So it took about a year for another company to fill that void. Now, before we talk about that company, I want to test something out with you, Ryan. I do have a theory that I would like to validate if you're up for it.
Yeah, I am.
Perfect. So we've seen the WWF, the World Wrestling Federation. We've seen World Championship Wrestling, WCW. We've even seen ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, let's say off the top of your head, Ryan, I know you're a big idea man. What was the nickname you came up for Tim Duncan earlier?
The Alamo.
The Alamo? Yeah, the Alamo. Thank you. The Alamo. I know that your creative juices are running at their apex right now. I can already sense it. So let's say that a billionaire comes to you, Ryan, and he says, "I want to start a wrestling promotion." What's the name that you pitch to that billionaire, Ryan?
I mean, it has to start with a W.
I mean, it does. So it doesn't have to.
No, it
but
does. No, it
but
does.
as we read through those different options, you can kind of sense a pattern there. They all will at least include W. 2 out of the 4 start with W, but they all have W's in there for wrestling, as it turns out.
Ah, I mean, this was the question you really should have prepped me with, like, not what's the least rewarding sport. Jesus Christ. I mean, I have so many ideas for this sport, but like, I don't like. You want me to peg a name on this right now? Do you want me to like some sort of acronym for it? Like,
Yeah, an acronym, a name, etc. Just whatever off the top of your head.
Can you just read back what you like read me? Like, what were the four again?
Yeah. Okay. So the four here are the World Wrestling Federation, World Championship Wrestling, Extreme Championship Wrestling, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I can name others too if you need it, but I don't want to overcomplicate things for you.
Oh boy. I maybe something around like the United like Wrestling Confederation or something like that, like the UFW.
Okay, so UWF is what you're saying? United Wrestling Federation?
So I mean I like it. Yeah, maybe something like that.
There was definitely a UWF in history. So yeah, I mean that matches up.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so
yeah,
I'm
so
right
that's not
on
a name
that.
That checks out. I mean, yeah, it might fall under copyright, but so the reason I'm asking you this is because I wanted to see what a non-wrestling fan who knows very little about pro wrestling, within the span of 2 minutes, what they would come up with as far as a name for a wrestling company. And what you thought of, Ryan, was actually substantially better than what ended up actually happening. So this company that we're going to be watching here today, that started about a little over a year after WCW went out of business, their name, they did not go with the UWF, unfortunately, the United Wrestling Federation. They actually chose TNA.
Yeah. What happens when I look up TNA?
Only good things. So I know, Ryan, you're an innocent church-going lad, but allow me to kind of set the stage for you. So TNA traditionally has stood for tits and ass.
No.
To parlance of our times. Yeah. So I know that you're shocked to hear this, but in this case, TNA does not stand for tits and ass. It stands for total nonstop action. Are you looking something up right now?
Yeah, just when I was just when was this? The early 2000s?
2002.
Oh, 2002. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but I think it fits right in, with what I would expect, like, it to be, someone to come up with. It doesn't really fit, but it makes, okay, it doesn't fit it, but it makes sense. It just,
So, I mean, here's what I would say around the name TNA Wrestling. So, one, it's pretty difficult for advertisers to feel comfortable with that name to attach themselves to TNA Wrestling, or for just the general public to take it seriously at all. Because you have to imagine, like, if you say, "Oh, I'm going to go watch WWF," or "I'm going to go down to Key Arena and watch the WWF today," like, okay, sure, that sounds fine. But if you tell somebody who has no idea what you're talking about, "I'm going down to the ShoWare Center to watch TNA," they're going to look at you fucking weird and think that you're a creep and a pervert.
So I guess, okay, but when they came up with this, was has TNA always just been a thing, tits and ass, like, or is that like something that, like, when they came up with this name, did they know this was in place and they just tried to, like?
Yes.
Okay. All right,
It was a play off of that phrase. I don't know the web.
It was a play off of this phrase.
Yeah, so they're intentionally trying to sort of capitalize off of what people assume TNA is. And so, and in their early years especially, they did sort of focus a lot on like sexual storylines and like stupid like really, really raunchy, not funny comedy skits that were just dumb.
Okay.
Like the worst parts of pro wrestling were what they did in a lot of cases. And they would have like go-go dancers. Now, to make it really, really clear, they were not exclusively like women wrestlers. They weren't just featuring women who were wearing like bikinis. It was men and women both wrestling. It was basically, it was just like every other wrestling company, but just very poorly executed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I remember about TNT wrestling too.
TNA makes WCW look like Shakespeare in many ways, but the reason that I'm giving you all this information around TNA is because while TNA did have a lot of really good matches and a fair share of decent moments over the years, largely they are known for being a complete shit show for their entire existence. And so this match here today is our first match that we'll be watching from TNA Wrestling.
I'm excited now. Now I'm pumped. This is the exact. I love this kind of like dramatic train wreck type of shit, just on anything. So good. I'm pumped.
So I'm gonna set a little bit more of background for you before we talk very briefly about the match. There's really not a whole lot of backstory. This is not a Macho Man Hulk Hogan type of situation, but a couple of things I'll just point out before we actually start watching it. One, the arena is going to look a little bit different than what we've seen before. So most of the matches that we've seen have been pretty good sized arenas. I know we've seen some of the Memphis stuff where it was a little dirtier and dingier, but for the most part, these have been, several thousand seat arenas. This is not going to be that.
Not a high school gym with no one in there.
Not an empty high school gym. This is actually going to be at a soundstage at Universal Studios in Orlando.
Oh shit.
So they were essentially like an attraction at Universal Studios. They don't tape there anymore, but for a number of years they did. One other big cosmetic difference that you'll probably notice, when you think a wrestling ring, you probably think of a 4-sided square.
Yeah.
They do not have that. Their ring is 6-sided.
Like an octagon?
Well, an octagon's 8. Similar idea.
Yeah.
But no cage. It's a wrestling ring where it has the 3 ropes on all the different corners and stuff, but instead of broken up into 4 corners, it has 6 corners.
Okay. What do you call that?
A sextagon? I'm pretty sure.
Well, TNA, that makes okay, yeah.
I mean, they never refer to it as the sextagon, which is probably the worst. They really fucked up on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they should have called it the sextagon. But, which I think you'll find the matches look, as a general rule, more awkward in a 6-sided ring. And apparently, from what I've heard, the bumps, the falls to the mat are more painful because there's less give to it because it's broken up into 6 sides. So doesn't really matter in this match, but just a little quick aside.
Okay.
So overall, if I had to summarize TNA, especially back at this point in time, you remember Malta Meal?
No.
So Malta Meal, if you're in the cereal aisle at your local grocery store, Malta Meal is the bags of cereal that are like knockoff brands of Captain Crunch and whatnot. TNA was a Malta Meal version of WWE.
I'm hoping this is a highly rated match.
I should have just led with that. I could have saved myself a lot of time. So let's talk a little bit about the match. I'm just going to really quickly bullet point the main things that you need to know. So first, this match took place in July of 2009. So at this point, they'd actually been around for about 7 years or so. It
was a great year, yeah.
Hell of a year. The best year of Ryan Murphy's life. Turned, I don't know how old you were. You were a teen.
19.
Man, barely legal, Ryan Murphy. That's going to be your new name.
It was legal, but...
Barely legal, Ryan Deathmatch Murphy.
Yeah.
So the storyline behind this... Okay, did I skip anything? No. Okay, so the storyline behind this match, there was a faction, a group of dudes known as the Main Event Mafia. It was comprised of all the top bad guys within the company. It was teased that they had a mysterious financial backer for their group, because if you have a bunch of rich millionaire wrestlers, the one thing they need is a financial backer for no reason at all. This financial backer turned out to be Jenna Morasca, who longtime fans of the show, the reality TV show Survivor, may remember her as the winner of the 2003 $1 Million Game.
I'm sorry, what was her role in this?
She was the mysterious financial backer for the Main Event Mafia.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, I mean, you know that I'm talking in storyline right now, yes.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
This is the storyline of the match. The real life version is, oh, we're just going to bring in this Survivor bitch and have her wrestle one time.
She's in this match.
She is one of the competitors in this match. To my knowledge, this is her first and only match she ever participated in.
Okay. Fuck. I'm a Survivor fan, so.
I know. I think we talked about that off one time. But yeah, she not only was a participant, but she was a winner, again, of the 2003 show. She won the $1 Million Game. Apparently, she's famous. She stripped on the show, her and somebody else, for like peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah, that sounds like 2003 Survivor.
And just to clarify in this, in case anyone missed it, no, Jenna Morasca had not previously been on TNA wrestling before. No, she had no previous connection to professional wrestling. This was just something that they did to try and get some mainstream attention, which, again, she won the 2003 version of the television show Survivor. This match happened in July of 2009. So a really, really topical celebrity to bring in.
Good on them. A good call, marketing.
I mean, I've found that in a lot of these cases, with reality TV shows, their stars really peak about 5 years after they're no longer on that program.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the other members of the Main Event Mafia, his name is Booker T. Booker T coincidentally took place in the worst match of all time, according to Ryan Murphy. He's one half of Harlem Heat. His wife was a member of the Main Event Mafia, and her name is Queen Sharmell. So Queen Sharmell and Jenna don't get along, and so they've decided that they're going to settle their feud by having a match on pay-per-view with each of them a trainer in their corner. And so that is the background of our match here today.
This is okay, good.
Anything else that you have any questions around? Anything that you think is important for our listeners to know before we jump into our commercial break, Ryan?
No, I'm excited for the watch here. I was looking up Booker T trying to, but I'm just gonna let it play.
Sure. No, that's Booker T is actually not involved in this at all. It's just his wife.
It's his wife.
Yes. So if you look up Booker T Harlem Heat, Harlem Heat versus Steiner Brothers is currently the worst match of all time, according to you.
Okay.
And so now we're going to be watching a match involving his wife, Sharmell, versus Jenna Morasca.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that we're all set. Again, I will attempt to find a link, which shouldn't be too hard. I think this match is all over the interwebs, so I'll try and post that. If you want to watch it along with us, by all means. Otherwise, we will be back in just a few short moments with our thoughts on Queen Sharmell versus Jenna Morasca.
And Jenna looks like a bullfighter. Sojo goes flying off the apron, right onto Kong at ringside as Sharmell came charging over to the corner.
Well, this definitely gives Jenna a big advantage, knowing that Sojo's out. Look at Kong relishing in this, enjoying it. Don't know how to describe that. Sharmell wants it back.
Oh, wow. Kong from outside with the knockout blow potentially here. And is Jenna going to go for the cover and the pin?
Well, I think she better take advantage of it while she's got it. Here it is.
You talking about the pin?
Someone get the video camera.
Here's your winner, Jenna Morasca.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Ryan Deathmatch Murphy. He has continued in his winning ways. Yet another W in the column. What does that put you at? I know you were at a 6-9 record going into this episode. So that would be, well, I guess you just add a 1 in the winners column. That puts you at 7-9 in a 3-week win streak, my friend.
Working my way right back to 500.
To just be perfectly transparent, I had totally written off that you were ever going to get back to a 500 record. I had basically said that that's not going to happen. But here you are.
Yeah.
You're within striking distance.
I never wrote myself off.
Your confidence was shot for a very long time, and now here we are. You're back. You're better than ever.
Yep. I can just see it now in the matches.
So let's go through some of my notes that I made for our match here today. So I got to watch this match twice in the past 2 days. What a treat for me. So my first note here, Sharmell is wearing a gown to wrestle. That was some interesting, unique attire.
Yeah, it almost looked like it was like pants during the match. Like it was a dress, but I thought it was then pants.
It had a long flap in front of her front.
Yes. Yeah.
And then so that she had movement of her legs for wrestle purposes. But yes, it was a gown type design. So when our video cut in, it was the entrance of Sharmell. Any thoughts on Awesome Kong?
Oh yeah. I thought they were on opposite sides. I missed that at first. So I didn't think she was on Jenna's side. So that was like kind of a turning point in the match, but like a powerful figure.
Yes. I think that's probably the best way of describing Awesome Kong, as a powerful figure. So from there, you got to see Jenna Morasca's entrance. How would you describe her entrance, and specifically her entering the ring, Ryan?
Yeah, I plus like points on that. She entered the I don't know how to say this. Like there was a lot to view in that entrance right there. The cameraman
did, diplomatic of you to say it that way.
The cameraman was all over it closely.
So allow me, if I might. So here are my notes that I wrote. Most awkward and least sexy entrance of all time. Literally spreading butt cheeks while camera zooms in. Sharmell is saying, "Ew."
Yeah, I missed that part. Didn't she say "ew"?
They cut as she was like, as Jenna Morasca. Just to set the stage, because I know not everybody's going to watch this. In fact, I would probably implore that most people not. But she bends over the rope, face down, ass up, bends over the rope, spreads her butt cheeks, not with her hands necessarily, but as much as you can spread them while like bending over, and then proceeds to like snake slither, legs akimbo, over the rope. And so in the middle of this, they cut to Sharmell, which upon reviewing was my favorite part of the match, because it's just Sharmell's reaction of fucking ew, which was a completely natural reaction to somebody doing that in a ring.
I mean, that's kind of what I expected. Like from the way that you like brought this whole match up and really like put the whole thing together. That is exactly what I would have expected. Plus, I'm a big, any Champion of Survivor fan. So
it's true.
Well done on her part. Really put herself out there for that one.
I'll try and scrounge up a match with Richard Hatch one of these days. See what I can find.
Yeah.
There's another Survivor guy that got involved in wrestling, Johnny Fairplay. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah. That's a big Survivor name. He did not play fair, just so everyone knows.
Oh, that's a fucking shock. I think he was actually involved in TNA every now and again. Maybe we can find one of his things.
Really?
I believe so. Okay, so we start the match. There was some bad sexy dancing from Jenna Morasca at the very start. I think she did like the thing where she kissed her finger and then on her butt because she's so hot.
Yeah, there was like a lot of like moving the hips and like the works. You know, in the beginning and the end, I think there was a lot of.
They really bookended it with that. Let's see. Going along my notes, terrible offense from Sharmell, terrible selling from Jenna, just very bad movement all the way around. My next note, Jenna can't run the ropes. So I don't think we've ever actually talked about the mechanics of how this works because most guys do it so effortlessly, you don't really necessarily notice it. But when you're in wrestling school, what they teach you is if you're running the ropes, when you hit the ropes, you're basically expected to pivot, plant both your feet, and grab hold of the rope with one of your hands. That way, the rope doesn't slide over your head. And also, if the rope breaks, you have something you can hold on to. And so you'll hit the rope, you'll take 3 steps across the ring, pivot, do the same thing over and over until whatever move it is that you're doing. That's how you are supposed to run the ropes. Jenna did not do that.
I didn't notice that at all.
There was a point where she actually ran in like a half circle through the ring. And instead of hitting the ropes, she would lightly touch the rope and then act as if it was bouncing her off as opposed to actually hitting the rope.
Yeah. That's a good point. I did think like the way she utilized the ropes. There's been a lot of bad matches that I've watched, but they all use like you said, they use the ropes very well. You don't even notice that they're doing it. It's just part of what they do.
Yeah, and the ropes legitimately do have spring.
Yeah, this was just blatantly like awful on like all fronts. It was not good at all. And I think anyone who would never watch a wrestling match would be able to see that is pretty glaringly bad.
Yeah, it's like kids trying to pretend to be wrestler in their basement where like they use the walls as ropes, so you're just like touching it with your fingers and then you run back at the person. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, but I kind of respect that. They didn't overdo it. They did it poorly, and that's what they knew how to do.
You won't respect Rob Van Dam doing a world record lift while doing the splits, but you will respect women not hitting ropes. Sometimes it just can't make heads or tails of you, Ryan. But either way, we'll continue on to my notes. My next note, people paid money to see this.
Well, I can see that, yeah.
I granted it probably wasn't just for this. It's part of a bigger card, but still, this match actually cost money to view at one point in time. We got the camel clutch. That may have been our first camel clutch we've seen. I don't know. Here's the part where I remember you actually had a reaction. Terrible crossbody followed by no contact slaps.
Oh yeah, no, that was. But again, as shitty as it was, very well executed. The authenticity of it, like to me, it was perfect. So
the authenticity of how shitty it was very authentic. I will give you that. We had a little bit of outside interference from Sojourner Bolt on behalf of Sharmell. Even when Jenna kicks out of a pin, it looks shitty. Here's where Jenna fires up for a big comeback. The worst slaps of all time. My note says this is like junior high drama class stage slaps, which I remember. Those
Jenna was on top at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember learning stage slaps in drama class back in junior high, and it was not altogether dissimilar from that.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but again, they did it the best they knew how. So,
next bit, Sojourner Bolt flies headfirst into the guardrail, probably has a concussion. Can you imagine suffering a significant injury for this fucking thing?
This is like you're the lowest of the low on your wrestling match. Even like the other wrestling matches, like we've seen, like you were like talking them up the whole time. You are like talking a lot of shit right now.
I don't want to color your opinion, but this is maybe arguably the worst match that has ever. for sure, it's the worst match that has ever been on pay-per-view. I can't imagine there being a worse match that people had to pay money to see. So that's my take on it. But again, this is all about your ranking. I'm not trying to sway your opinion. I'm just providing you with my notes. To finish out our notes for the match, this is the first time I've ever written or read this sentence out loud. Kong fist crotch pin.
Was that when she took her down at the end?
Yeah, so that's when so Awesome Kong has Sharmell's hair extension. She's waving it in front of her. Sharmell's going over there. Kong punches her in the face, big Kong fist, and then Jenna does the very, I don't know, the erotic pin, the crotch pin. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
How would you describe that crotch pin?
It was erotic, absolutely. Like, yeah. I think you just nailed it. I don't think I can describe it any other way. Like,
all right. Kong fist crotch pin, everybody. Kong fist crotch pin. Go ahead.
But you missed the whole, like, I thought the whole match was going to turn. And this is where I got the match confused. When, like, the hair extensions came out.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to get so upset that she was going to, like, turn the match around. That didn't happen.
Right. Well, I mean, you picked Jen anyway, so you were hoping that wouldn't happen, correct?
I was hoping that wouldn't happen, but I thought it was going to. I thought that was going to be, because she, like, 6 minutes in, like, it was, going nowhere.
Sure.
You could tell it was pretty generic. Like, okay, she beats her ass the first 6 minutes, and then the last 2, like, she comes back and wins.
Yeah, I guess the bit with the hair extension was like part of Jenna's comeback, I guess. I don't know. This match was very weird in terms of how it was laid out. But again, this was one of the participants' only matches ever. So I guess you got to kind of give them the gaga, so to speak. So Jenna Morasca successfully pins Sharmell with the Kong fist crotch pin. Big celebration. Jenna Morasca is being an idiot. She's, yelling at Kong, etc. Kong gets mad. Another Kong fist, and then a big splash from Awesome Kong onto your girl Jenna Morasca to close things out. And
what does that hurt? Does that make her a winner, or does that make her?
Who, Jenna or Kong?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, Jenna won the match.
Yeah. Okay.
Just got beat up after the match. That's all. That's an unofficial beating. That's not on the record books.
And that was her, like, manager?
That was her trainer for the match. Yeah, you could say it was her manager, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But she was being obnoxious. She insisted on climbing on Kong's back. Kong was not having it. Then she started yelling at Kong for no discernible reason, just for the sake of being an idiot. And then to send the crowd home happy, they did the big bit with Kong splashing her.
Yeah. No.
So there you go. That about sums it up. So let's take it to the ranking. I have a feeling I'm going to not enjoy this part of our episode here today. So let's take a look. Again, I'm not swaying you in any particular direction, but let's just kind of zoom in on a particular spot of this whiteboard.
Yeah. No. It's not the last. I respect it for what it is. And that's,
I don't know. Can I just fucking say, you shit so hard over Rob Van Dam not doing 1, but 2 dives out to the goddamn audience in one fucking match. And yet, throughout this entire fucking thing, well, you know what? I can respect the fact that they're throwing the worst fucking slaps in the entire world. I don't understand you sometimes. It's your ranking. I'm not trying to talk you out of anything, but fuck, I just have no idea where you're coming at some of these matches from.
I mean, they brought her from, she's a Survivor champion, Eric.
$1 million champion.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So first of all, let's start there.
Okay.
You need again. You take the slaps for what it is. It wasn't great, but it was well executed for what it was. Like,
That makes no sense. It was the worst executed slaps of all. They made no contact whatsoever with one another. It was little kids pretending to play fight, not even real play fighting.
That's sometimes what wrestling is, Eric.
Not any of the wrestling we've watched. None of the wrestling matches I've shown you, sir.
I don't know. I've seen it, Eric. I've seen it.
Have it.
You're blinded.
Can't even name an example.
Your fucking love for this shit, Eric. And that's why I'm here.
Okay. Do you need the list again, Ryan?
Yeah,
okay.
I do.
All right.
Okay. Vampire versus Kiss Demon. Oh no. I'm gonna place it. Number. It's not high. Don't get me wrong, but it's not last. I've seen a worse match.
Yeah.
But I think there's I think it's maybe.
I'm just hold on before you say anything. You're welcome to make whatever point you want. I have a threshold in my head that if this match goes above a certain number, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. Just tell you right now. But again,
well, now I kind of want to test this. Like,
no, don't test it. Just whatever you were gonna say it. But I feel inclined that it's important that I disclose that.
No, okay. I think I need to really go back and look at these. I would put it. It's not last, but it's right before like Vampiro versus Kiss Demon.
Okay.
It's Steiners versus Harlem Heat. Like it's not a great match, but like it's not the worst thing on this list.
So it's second to last. You're saying.
Yeah.
So so you're putting Booker T's wife's match above Booker T's match on our list. So I'm sorry, Steiner Brothers and Harlem Heat, you guys are still the worst match of all time. But we have a new number 15 in our ranking: Sharmell versus Jenna Morasca.
It gets fair spot for it.
Yeah, I think so. That's okay. I can live with that.
Where'd you think I was going to put it?
I thought you were going to bump it above Flair versus Sting, and I was going to, and as not even being a huge Ric Flair fan, I was going to completely take umbrage with it, but I don't have to do that. So
hold up the list one more time. I just real quick. Oh, okay. I really need to go back. Yeah, this was not going to be highly rated, but like I said, it's not it's fine.
Not the worst match of all time. One of these days, you're gonna rewatch Diners vs. Harlem Heat, like knowing that it's the worst fucking match on this list, and you're gonna be like, "That wasn't so bad."
Yeah.
Like whenever that day comes that you go back to rewatch, you're like, "Oh, that was fine."
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you should have an episode where it's just like a rewatch match of like and just all not replace it, but adjust. Not
I mean, maybe we'll do that eventually. I don't know. I guess we'll. I
mean,
guess we'll
I'm
see.
still just like this. This is the match you chose instead of like a death match or something like that. Like,
yeah,
I don't understand like why the death match has to be episode 30. Like,
you gotta build to it. How could you appreciate a death match until you've seen Jenna Morasca versus Queen Sharmell?
I don't know how to answer that question.
That's because you don't have enough wrestling knowledge yet. But once you get to episode 30 and you watch the death match, you're like, oh, now I can see why we had to watch Jenna versus Sharmell. Now it makes a lot more sense now that I have all this wrestling knowledge. I know about sexy wrestling. I know about bad wrestling. I know about all these forms of wrestling. So now all of these sexy bad matches can then work their way into my brain, so now I can really appreciate a death match.
Oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah. So we're just educating you on the different forms of wrestling, so then you can see the what's widely regarded as the pinnacle of all of wrestling, which is, of course, a death match, which everyone loves death matches.
Yeah, but I still haven't seen it.
Well, yeah, and you will. We're almost there. We're over halfway there.
Okay.
And don't forget, not only is there the deathmatch episode coming up, but at an undisclosed place and undisclosed time, there is the kendo stick showdown. We've already promised our listeners that is happening. I don't know when and I don't know where, but that
Undisclosed.
That's on the books.
Okay.
I've been in close contact with our associate. Who knows? Maybe they'll even sit in on an episode, and you can teach them a thing or two about wrestling. You never know.
Oh yeah.
Anything else that you want to say around our match here today, Ryan? Before we wrap things up.
No. 10-minute match. That was short, and sweet, and sexy.
Ryan Murphy likes his women just like how he likes his wrestling matches. Short, sweet, and sexy. That might be the quote of the episode. So, with that said, I think it's time, once again, for Eric's wisdom tree. That time where I impart knowledge that Ryan insists on picking apart every time we ever fucking do this. But let's try this out. Let's see if Ryan can pick this one apart. A little bit of wisdom for our audience. This may or may not have come from a recent event in my own household. The best part of replacing your carpeting is that you can wipe all your boogers on the old carpet and then they just take it away.
Fuck. That's hard to argue with.
I'm glad you think so. Heather wasn't as impressed by this theory as I was.
That's tough to argue with. That's a pretty good one. We have this like carpet. It's just like kind of a, I don't know, 10x6 carpet that just sits on our floor, and like we're getting rid of it because like it's not great, and like now I just like if I spill some salsa on it or I need to like wipe my hand a little bit, like of course where it's I could just do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're getting rid of it. You're replacing your carpet, like
who need napkins when you just have a carpet that you're getting rid of?
Yeah, I don't want to say like I wipe my whole, but like a little bit, like fair point. Good.
Coronavirus, a lot of toilet paper shortages. Who needs toilet paper when you have just a carpet you're getting rid of?
Well, yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Jab your penis in the fibers, or wipe your ass in it, and you got yourself a nice little. Sometimes you got a little penis dab just so you don't get any squirts in your boxer shorts.
Well, fucking said, Eric.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am quite a wordsmith.
Yeah.
Next episode, I know we try and do a little teaser for next episode. I don't actually know for sure what match we're going to watch next episode, but I do know whatever it'll be something from New Japan Pro Wrestling, which currently occupy the top 2 spots in our list. So I'm going to find something. It may not necessarily be from any of the guys that we've seen previously, but we will go watching something from New Japan.
Yeah, good.
Maybe in person. You never know.
I'm not sure where we got this one, but
it came from a place of love. I know that you needed a little bit of sex appeal. You needed to sex up your life a little bit, Ryan. So I took it upon myself to sexify you with a little Kong fist crotch pin. I
would say the last like 4 to 5 episodes have been just fucking totally shitty. Like, right? Like pretty bad.
What do you, the episodes or the matches?
No, not the episode. The matches have been like not great at all. I think you've just run a string of like matches that are going to be not great. And well,
let's go to the data. Now that you're calling me out on this, let's find out. I have my Excel spreadsheet right here. Mm-hmm. Bear with me for one moment. You think I'm kidding, but I'm actually pulling up an Excel doc with the hard mark data. Okay, so you said like the last 4 or 5 matches?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you haven't been in love with them.
I mean, do you have them on an Excel sheet ranked as like what I ranked them?
I don't have that. So I mean, I have the whiteboard here, but just kind of going through our list. So if we're going back 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 5th match ago that we watched was Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey. That's number 6.
Was that 6?
That's currently number 6. Yeah, you can see that.
I mean, okay, I remember that episode. It wasn't like great, but it wasn't bad.
You loved the ending. You loved the ending with the kendo stick. That's what inspired you to get hit with a kendo stick.
Okay. Yeah, that might have been it. Okay.
Yeah. and you liked the unconventional grappling. It was almost more like a fight than a wrestling match. There were bits that you really enjoyed, but so there was that one, and then since then it was Hulk versus Ultimate Warrior, which you just fucking loved. Then it was RVD versus Bam Bam Bigelow, which is number 7. You shit on it, but you still ranked it at least somewhere in the middle. Terry Funk versus Jerry Lawler, which is number 8. And then Jenna versus Queen Sharmell. So it wasn't as bad as you make it sound.
Okay, they're just mid-range.
Yeah, there hasn't been anything in the top portion in a bit. But we'll see if we can change that up next episode. Again, it'll be something from New Japan. I don't know what yet, but something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you're in the mood for something, that'll maybe be a top 3, I can try and facilitate that.
Just there's something. It's been a while. Not that even that Rousey match, like there was something that like bumped it up that high.
It was the kendo stick. You just love the fucking kendo stick.
Okay,
it turned you on. There's a little bit of sex appeal. A little bit of paint with your pleasure.
Yeah.
All right. I think that'll do it for this episode of the Hard Mark Podcast. I appreciate everybody taking time to download, stream, etc., etc., etc. And as always, I'm going to forget what our outro line is, but I'm going to pull up a note to remind myself that, in fact, our outro line is...
Got to pull up a Word document.
It's a fucking... Oh, here we go. Okay, I found it. If you're not hard, get hard. Once you get hard, stay hard. Take it sleazy, everybody.
You just don't jack up a dock every day.